Hello and welcome to the talk series on Guiding Lights by Zago. I'm Payal Gandhi Hoon, your host, bringing you up close for riveting conversations with some of the brightest HR leaders. I have someone with me who is an impactful leader with the ability to develop and lead workforces. He's known for his stakeholder management skills and empathy with high level of service delivery and execution with integrity. He has worked with both public and private sectors. His rich experience of 2.5 decades ranges holding key positions across media, telecom, multinational conglomerate groups, digital, coal mining, and refining. He specializes in talent acquisition, talent management, performance management, employer branding, compensation management, employee engagement, training and development, and industrial relations. He's also currently the chairperson of NIPM, Asansol chapter, and a life member of National HRD Network, Mumbai chapter. He has been recognized for his remarkable contributions at forums like Asia's Best Employer Branding Award, for his stint at DB Power, and also as a CHRO of the Year and Pride of HR Professionals, PSU. On that note, I'd like to welcome Vinay Ranjan, Director Personnel and IR, Coal India, to be the guiding light today. Welcome, Vinay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Payal.
So, Vinay, let's get started. I'd like to start basis your experience in public and private sectors. So, I'm curious to know what qualities have added to your success as an HR leader in varied cultures.
Thank you, Payal, for interviewing me. It's a wonderful occasion, and I'm sure my life experiences and my experiences of 25 years will certainly help others to grow in their career. To start with, the qualities which I had was once was never give up. There are so many situations in my life where I could have easily give up, and I could not have reached where I am sitting today. I'll start is perseverance. Never give up. The situation in life will come where you will say, things are not going in my way. I like to share to validate my never give up attitude. Initially I was based out of Chennai. It was my initial career. It is like people come from a small town to city like Mumbai for their dream career. I also took a train way back in late 1990s, and a twinkle in my eyes, and looking forward to make my career in corporate world, a degree in HR, an MBA in HR, and I took a train and landed in Mumbai in 1996. And I was, next 2 months, I was everywhere. And that time there was no Naukri.com, there was no online. So you need newspaper clippings. You see in the newspaper Times in India, apply there, call them, go there for interviews. I must have given at least 50 to 100 interviews in 2 months time. I was everywhere, and that too was because of I wanted to understand what people in corporate world are looking you as a candidate, and every interview was a learning process. So my first qualities I will look at, see, don't look at money and role just beginning with the career. First you need to get experience. And how will you get experience? By grabbing a role, whatever role comes, and you have enough time in your career to make sure that you reach to your potential, but at least begin. Also, I like to share a story, how I get into VSNL, Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited. Now it is known as the Tata Communication. Disinvestment happened in 2001. Tata Group took over this company. It was a PSU, public sector undertaking, under telecom and IT ministry. I sat for an exam which was for a junior officer HR, which is a non-executive position, and I miserably failed. And I was cursing myself, I did very fairly pretty bad in my interview. The question was asked, I miserably answered, but I never lose a hope. And incidentally, luckily, the vacancy came 8 months after my failure in the first interview, first attempt, where you have to give written test and you have to give interview and computer test to get into a public sector. And this time it was for senior officer, means executive cadre one level up, just after 8 months of my failure in the first. So I again sat for interview, and this time luck would have it, I was got selected. So within a year, I jumped from non-executive position in the same company to a executive position. So keep trying. The first lesson for any youngsters who are keep trying: one, failure is not permanent, and success will be there if you keep trying. Whenever you get a role, you need to, because first 5-10 years of the career, you eat exploit the first 10 years of learning in entire 30-35 years. So generally people have a 30 plus 34 years of career. You start in 25 years of age, you retire in 60 years, if you 35 years of career. So first 10 years of learning will pay dividend for your next 25 years of career. So first 10 years is very important. And any important assignments, can raise your hand to your boss. Okay, sir, I'm there. Please give me the role. So it's very, very important to first 10 years of career. Learn as much as possible. Immerse yourself. In my case, I learned 10 years very rigorously. 2001, the disinvestment happened, the change management, a lot of, from public sector perspective, where everything we are putting a note and then file movement, and then everything suddenly changed to email. Everything is an approval process changed to email. So we were the first or second batch of professionals who came in VSNL. So we adapted and we worked as a change agent in that company. Third qualities I would like to have for any candidate is to understand corporate politics, but don't indulge into, because I see a lot of people get into the corporate politics. So it's a very sometime you will gain, and with immediate gain, but in long term, and you make a click in the company, you bulldoze others people, and you do politics. Politics is not bad. Corporate politics is not. I'm not saying it is bad, but me as an individual, I said I will not indulge, but I'll understand and make use the politics for my advantage. So you need to understand what undercurrent, and the human nature is such. Even 5 people will be there. There will be undercurrents, politics, and there will be backbiting, and all those things will happen. There's some good friends you will also get in the corporate life. But whenever you in such kind of politics, understand, don't indulge into it. This is my advice to the people, and then use this politics to your advantage, so that you are not away from the office loop, what happens in the office loop. If you not reflect on your day, and it can be done, generally Mumbai has a long commute time. You take 1 hour time to reach home, 45 minutes to reach time. So use those 45 minutes, either you are sitting in a taxi, your car, or maybe in people use train in Mumbai, or whatever mode. So spend 45 minutes of your area to talk to yourself, and reflect and analyze what you have done for the day, and what are the learnings of the day. That will make you a good professional.
Thank you. I think phenomenal. There's so much upfront that you shared for everybody who's watching this. What I heard from you is hard work is really key. Second is not giving up. And I remember a saying, my grandmother used to say, whatever happens, happens for the best. So I like the story where you said you didn't give up on that non-executive position, but you actually moved on to even, getting the executive position 8 months later. And the third message that is clearly emerging from what you're saying is how can you immerse yourself in learning and also reflecting at the end of the day. So some powerful lessons there for everybody who's watching, and clearly these are the qualities that you said, Vinay, are actually something that's adding up to your success as an HR leader. So I'm going to move on to another very important aspect of your career, and that's really to do with you mentioned about business transitions, disinvestments, and the whole transition from one public sector to a private sector. Also, I was reading about you, and what I read was the process of managing and reducing long pending cases in one of the organizations that you join, and also ensuring compliance of statutory norms and guidelines issued by the legislative bodies. So obviously, as an HR leader, you've been at the helm of some really if I may put it, high end kind of business decisions in terms of managing and impacting. So, would be nice to hear from you. Maybe one or two complex challenges or situations that you have managed well from a HR perspective, and how did you see that through?
I'll give you an incident when it was I was doing a change man SAP in a implementation in VSNL Tata Communication. That was not known Tata Communication. It was known as VSNL, but ownership was with Tata Group, and it was how change management was handled, how miserably some of the aspect was failed, and it was a good learning for me. So what happened in 2004, VSNL decided to implement SAP in a big bang. It was 8 months project. They said, do all 8 modules in one single stretch. Implementation that was ASAP methodology was coming. Accelerated SAP implementation methodology. So we decided, we formed a team, 8 members team, 4 from VSNL HR. I was HR lead, and 4 from TCS who were part of our team, and then various other modules lead was there. So I was the HR lead, and we did the implementation, and that was a record 8 months implementation, big bang. We did all 6-7 modules including employee self-service and VSNL. But one aspect was very, very poorly handled, which as a team lead I felt responsible, was on data management. Any system implementation is as good as the data you put into the system. That is, we say garbage in, garbage out. And what we did is, the data which received from various different regions, different offices of VSNL, we tried to clean it. But when we try to take reports, the MI system of world-class SAP system, the reports miserably failed. So that was a good learning at that point of time. Whenever you're doing any change management things, you put a world-class system, but please focus on your fundamentals. What can go wrong? What are the risks involved in implementing such a big, and 2004, very few companies, in India. I can understand RIL, Reliance was one company where I joined subsequently. They have done in 2003. So it was initial, so not much knowledge, domain knowledge was available in India at that point of a time. And we were, initial companies who adopted SAP HR, HCM module. So it was a good learning, and you learn from your failure, which I subsequently corrected in my, other learning. Now CIL is doing SAP implementation. We have just launched. The minister has inaugurated just 3-4 days back. So those learning I could, implement in other learning. So whenever you are doing in a project which is a change management project, so make sure you are putting your as is and to be. What is your as is process, and what to be process you are configuring in the system, and please understand the gap very clearly. Spend most of your time, 60-70% of time, in this as is and to be and gap understanding. What we do, whenever we do such kind of a project implementation, which has a large implication in the company, because your manpower data, your every data is sitting in such kind of system, and when you take a report and reports are all junk, then you as an individual are responsible for it.
Thank you so much, Vinay. That was quite a wonderful journey from the heart. So, in the context of the conversation today, you are our guiding light. And I'd like you to think about the guiding lights who actually enabled you to see your strength and also play out those strengths in your career and in your life.
I'll say I used to be a junior level cricketer I can say Bihar. I'm from Bihar, so I was born in Asansol. But after early death of my father, we moved to Patna, our ancestral place, where my grandfather was a top lawyer, barrister of his time, a very very top notch lawyer. So we had a central part of Patna. We had our own palatial house. So we shifted there after death of my father, and my sixth onward study, happened in Patna, small town boy. There I used to play cricket. There was one Mr. Ajiteshwar Prasad Jittu. Jittu was his name, Jittu Bhai. He used to be a cricketer, left arm spinner of his time, a lawyer. He used to earn, spend all his small earning. He was a small time lawyer of his time, earning maybe 250 300 rupees per day at that point of time, and he used to spend all his earnings into the club. He will come give us a lunch during our matches and all that. So he has spotted the earlier potential in me as a cricketer and as a person. And he used to say ki you have a good team ability, you play according to the team, and you understand the team need, because cricket is a you learn the team building and team need and your role, what you use a role as a player in the team. So he also wrote a good recommendation letter when I finished my MBA, and then as stated, I came to Mumbai, and he was a good lighting force. Apart from that, my elder brother, who is subsequently lost, he was also a Coal Indian employee. He got a job after my father's death, a 21-year-old commerce graduate. And he has fought his life. He joined as a non-executive employee in Coal India, did his part-time MBA evening classes, and become officer, through the online examination. 1992 he became officer. Coal India advertised a vacancy for officers. My elder brother is a guiding light. We lost him during COVID in 21. He's retired from Eastern Coalfield, and he was immensely proud. He said, when I retired as a manager, and my younger brother is a director of the same company, ECL. So his chest was filled with pride, and he was over the moon when I was selected for ECL director personnel. And he used to tell everybody, that my younger brother is now. And third person in the professional career was Aniruddha Singh. I met Aniruddha Singh. He's IIM Ahmedabad 1970 at pass out. HR veteran. He was in Birla Group for a long time. Idea Cellular CHRO. I met him when I joined Reliance Communication. He was my boss for 3 months at Reliance Communication. He has seen my potential within 3 months, and my role beyond moving out of telecom because of him. He's seen my work in 3 months' time. He was my boss, and then suddenly I got a call from one consultant in way back in 2005 that are you will change if some good offer comes in your way. I said, why not? I said, who is the person? Which company? He said, if you say yes, then only I will tell you. He said, Aniruddha Singh is asking you to join JSW Steel. JSW, that point of a time, looking for very organic growth, 6 million ton steel making to 10 million and 10 million to 16 million. Now they are one of the largest steel making company. So he selected me for head of talent acquisition for entire group. And he was always told me to get into the deeper part of it. Don't get into any issues and don't swim in the surface. You will get to know of any event or any situation or any decision making if you are not digging deeper into the issues. He told me that, and he has also given me a lot many independence. You hire. I'm sure you are doing good. Whenever you are stuck, you come to me. The mistake is mine, the success is yours. If you do any mistakes, I will own the mistakes. So that kind of a confidence I always give my, to my subordinates now. I'm senior position. You try your hard. There will be mistakes, there will be failure. uh, Mistakes, I will own it, and I'll see that it's a honest mistake, so that can be pardonable. And if it is project is successful, success is yours. Leadership is about others, leadership is not about you as an individual.
Thank you, Vinay. That was again very, very, very well thought of and shared, because you're talking about the three people clearly in your life, and may God bless your brother. And you spoke about the three people, somebody who started with understanding what your strength is as a kid, then of course your brother, and then of course the gentleman that you serve with, and again he saw the strength in you. So what we are going to move on from, I think from a 5 feet to a 50,000 feet kind of a take right now, because we're talking about people. And I'd like to also ask you, because HR has kind of emerged as a strong and a robust pillar to help organizations reassess and strategize the use and the impact of human variable in organizations. For the audience, it will be very helpful to know what is that one major HR trend that you're following these days, and why?
I just was in Accelerate, and HR analytics is going to big data. HR analytics, the big data is the trend, which I particularly very passionate about, and we want to implement here in Coal India. So it is with the objective is to have a good business decision, which is a factual based on data, and Coal India generates a lot of data. You know, millions bytes of data. So with this HR analytics, we know the readiness of workforce, we know where our workforce, how they are performing, where they are, what qualification, their other information on, so that we had a good business decision. We put the right people at the right place with the qualification they have. So and we signed a MOU with Accelerate for training our 500 executives. Just couple of days I was in Jamshedpur and signed. You can see in social media it was placed. So HR analytics and big data is the trend in HR. I'm following it.
So, Vinay, also I think what you said from a kind of leadership altitude perspective of 50,000 feet to 5 feet was very interesting, because what you're saying is that HR really needs to have an overview of how businesses perform internationally, what are the regulations, how does it impact people. And I like the part where you actually started out with the 5 feet bit, where you are actually connected to the workers and understanding what are the trials and tribulations they're going through, and being able to give that business perspective and look at it from a lens of business and HR lens there. So, the other aspect, Vinay, if you could comment on and share your views, is really employee engagement and retention, and how R&R, rewards and recognition, and employee benefits actually play an important role in that context. And if there are any best practices at Coal India that you'd like to mention, that will be great.
Engagement for us is very different than other companies, since we have very large workforce, and we do engagement on a certain level, but Coal India has been in the forefront of energy security of the country. You heard 3 months back there were a lot of media news on how the country is going through coal crisis, but we rose to the occasion, and Coal India enhanced their dispatch and supplies to power plants, and the risk was mitigated. First we need to, what is engagement? Engagement for me is extra discretionary the incumbent, the employee bring to the job. They will do 8 hours of job, which is there, it is expected out of you to perform such kind of a role, but the extra bit, which is the discretionary power of the incumbent, so you tap that discretionary power so that they are fully devoted to work, and those who bring that discretionary power in their jobs are suddenly the engagement level happens. So we do so many engagement events. We have a lot of 1st November is our Founders Day. 1st November 1975, Coal India was PSU was founded. So we do every Coal India and all subsidiaries do their R&R on 1st November, where all aspects of most of the teams, best production, safety awards, and then I just very big shields, very big trophies, human-sized trophies we give, and it's a day-long event in most of the area. And apart from that, we have a production incentive, to enhance our productivity. We have shift wise, we keep is a flag. So suppose you are working in a shift A, morning shift. So you have done X number of production. So they will put a flag on the mining the part of their mines and said we have done this tons of coal. Then second shift will see that figure and they try to surpass the figure which first shift has produced. So this way we enhance competition, and then we do reward recognition for the workers who has done the maximum production. This is a kind of production in incentive and reward. And in terms of engagement, we lot many events. We have events like cultural night. Every subsidiary has their own club. Ladies has their own club, and lot many cultural event happens. Dinner with the family, dinner with the CMDs. So lot many things happen, but it is little fragmented because a large workforce. We give guidelines, and R&R, I say the amount of awards Coal India gives, no other companies. I very well can say, all kind of awards we have here in Coal India.
Wonderful. So now we're going to get to the last segment of a conversation. And the last question, Vinay, is what is your sign off line for everyone?
My name start with V. So vibrancy, vibrant, being vibrant in all the situation. Not to be, cowed down, not to be sad, not to be, sitting at the corner. So you should be live wire at the party, live wire in any social event, and remain vibrant. And that's resonate with my first name V. My name starts with V, so remain vibrant wherever you are.
Lovely. Thank you so much. That's quite an original one. So, thank you, Vinay, for being the guiding light on the Guiding Light series by Zaggle today. It was a pleasure interacting.
Thank you spending time. I love. My pleasure. Thank you.